be in the atmosphere all the time. So condensation is caused by the loss of heat. When the moist air is cooled, it may reach a level which its capacity to hold water vapor ceases, decreases. The excess of water vapor condenses into liquid form. If it is directly condensed into solid form, it is known as sublimation. So the next term, children, is sublimation. The factors which affect the condensation: when the water vapor reaches the atmosphere, there are certain factors which result in the condensation. When the temperature of the air is reduced to dew point with its volume remaining constant, when both the volume and the temperature are reduced, when the moisture is added to the air through evaporation, and the most favorable condition for condensation is the decrease in air temperature. This condensation takes place in various forms. Let's study about all these forms now. The various forms can be dew, frost, fog, clouds. We'll try to find out the difference between dew, frost, fog, mist, rainfall, drizzle, etc. Now, after the condensation of water vapor, the moisture in the atmosphere takes place one or the other forms. Forms of condensation can be classified on the basis of temperature and location. Condensation takes place when the dew point is lower than the freezing point as well as higher than the freezing point. Now, when the moisture is deposited on the form of water droplets on cooler surfaces of solid objects, such as stones, grass blades, plant leaves. When you go for a morning walk, you must be observing that the grass is little wet. There are certain wet nodules on the leaves also. That is dew. The ideal condition for its formation are clear sky, calm air, high relative humidity, and cold and long nights. For the formation of dew, it is necessary that the dew point is above the freezing point. So I want you people to go to your garden, to the nearby parks. Of course, after planting trees, try to observe these dew drops. Now, what is frost? Frost forms on cold surfaces when condensation takes place below freezing point. That is, the dew point is at or below the freezing point. The excess moisture is deposited in the form of minute ice crystals instead of water droplets. The ideal conditions for the formation of white frost are the same as those for the formation of dew, except that the air temperature must be below or at the freezing point. So children, both these things, phenomena, are on the grasses and stones and other objects, but it varies from solid to little liquid. Fog and mist. Certain times you feel fog and mist are same? No. When the temperature of an air mass containing a large quantity of water vapor falls all of a sudden, condensation takes place within itself on the fine dust particles. This fog is the cloud with its base at or very near to the ground. This fog reduces visibility, isn't it? So the visibility becomes poor to zero. What is the difference between fog and mist? The only difference between the fog and the mist is that mist contains more moisture than the fog. You can feel this mist on your face when you go for a walk, isn't it? In mist, each nuclei contains a thick layer of moisture. Now, you must be seeing smog around you if you are in a town, urban center or industrial center. Certain time we get confused between fog and smog. What is smog? In urban and industrial centers, smoke provides plenty of nuclei which helps in formation of fog and mist. Such a condition, when fog is mixed with smoke, it is known as smog, which is not good for your health. Now, you must see what you see on the sky. We have studied about various seasons: cold weather, hot weather, advancing monsoon, retreating monsoon. Every time the sky shows you different type of clouds. What is a cloud? Cloud is a mass of minute water droplets or tiny crystals of ice formed by the condensation of the water vapor in free air at considerable elevations. That means higher heights. As the clouds are formed at some height over the surface of the earth, they take various shapes, and a thing of beauty is joy forever. Try to see all these clouds on the sky and identify along with me as to what are the names given to these clouds. According to the height, expanse, density, transparency or opaqueness, the clouds are grouped into various categories: cirrus, cumulus, stratus and nimbus. What are cirrus clouds? Cirrus clouds are formed at the altitude height of 8,000 to 12,000 meters. They are thin, detached clouds having a feathery appearance. They're always white in color. Cumulus clouds, they are very beautiful to see. They look like cotton wool. They are generally at the height of 4,000 to 7,000 meters. They exist in patches and can be seen scattered here and there. They have a flat base. Stratus clouds. As their name implies, these are layered clouds covering large portions of the sky. They are generally formed either due to loss of heat or the mixing of air masses with different temperature. Nimbus clouds, they are black and dark grey. They are formed in the middle levels or very near to the surface of the earth. They are extremely dense and opaque to the rays of the sun. Sometimes the clouds are so low that they seem to touch the ground. They are shapeless masses of thick vapor. So children, when you see the clouds, try to name them. These are the 4 major types I have told you. Otherwise, there are many other types on the basis of the same categories. A combination of these 4 basic types can give rise to following types of clouds. High clouds like cirrus, cirrostratus, cirrocumulus. Middle clouds, altostratus and altocumulus. Low clouds, stratocumulus and nimbus stratus. So clouds with extensive vertical development, they are also known as cumulus or cumulonimbus clouds. After the 2 processes of evaporation and condensation, the third process is precipitation. The process of continuous condensation in the air helps the condensed particles to grow in size. When the resistance of the air falls and the air is unable to hold this, that falls on the Earth's surface in various forms. Precipitation may take place in liquid or solid form. Let's study about the various forms of precipitation. The precipitation in the form of water is called rainfall, which is the most common one, When the rainfall happens in a slightly less minute matter, that is drizzle. When the temperature is lower than 0 degrees Celsius, the precipitation takes place in the form of snowflakes, which is known as snowfall. Moisture is released in the form of hexagonal crystals. These crystals form flakes of snow. What is sleet? Sleet is a frozen raindrop and refrozen melted snow water when a layer of air with a temperature above the freezing point that comes on the surface of the earth, that is known as sleet. Raindrops which leave the warmer air encounter with the colder air below. As you know, the warmer air rises. So these particles solidify and reach the ground on small pellets of ice, not bigger than the raindrops from which they are formed. So that is sleet. Now we will study about hailstones. Hailstones bring